So here we are at the Transparency Catalog, and we're promoting now that we have the Project Builder. Before I dive in there, I want to show you quickly, you can always go to the Quick Start Guide, and the Quick Start Guide, you'll see the theme is Learn While You Do. It gives you an overview of all the sections and what you can do on each page. It is pretty brief because it's a Quick Start Guide, but it's a good way to dive in without feeling a little bit overwhelmed. But that said, most people just like to get started, and so you can, and it's really easy. So let's do that. So we come to the Knauf showroom, and let's imagine that I'm an architect working on a project. Let's say maybe it's a hospital project, and I come to the Knauf showroom, and I can see that got this Project Builder capabilities. I can peruse the products that Knauf has, organized by product group or type, as well as master format division. But let's say I'm an architect who knows a lot about sustainability and product transparency, and not quite that much yet about specifying insulation. So we've provided some filters that allow people to see which products are recommended for which types of applications for envelope and interior or mechanical systems. And once I've filtered down to the products I want to learn about, I can click in, and now it takes me to a transparency report. But because a transparency report, which is, remember, it is an EPD, but it's an innovation in EPDs because it integrates product transparency with product marketing, I can learn everything I need to know about this product. I can even go to the Knauf website to learn more if I want to get deeper into it. And right here, right front and center, is access to the three-part spec. So we're really thinking from findability all the way through to specification, because that's ultimately how the products get purchased. You can see all the environmental information, all the certifications and ratings. And now I can actually go ahead and look at the LCA results. This is page 2 of the transparency report. On the left side is all the technical results from the LCA as required to be reported in a Type 3 environmental declaration. But we do a lot to try to make the LCA results understandable. So in a glance, a user can see how many life cycle stages were included, which information modules were included. We even illustrate those life cycle stages with actual images from the manufacturer. You can continue to scroll down and see all of the characterized results that are required to report on the LCA, which very few people understand. And so again, we do try to provide a lot of just-in-time learning in the interface. So all of these units in which the impact categories are measured have a definition so people can learn about what those mean. You can scroll down, see the value in the rating systems that this transparency report earns you. And we always have links in the references section to everything you would ever want to know, going all the way through to the standard. So we even allow you to get a copy of the LCA report if somebody really wants to knock themselves out. You can read the PCR, and of course, it's also, the transparency report is downloadable as a PDF. We've also taken our single figure score methodology that we've developed for our LCA and EcoDesign software some years ago, and we've used it to try to make sense of these characterized results by rolling up these impact categories in each life cycle stage so that the user can see in a glance the relative impacts in each life cycle stage, understand what is contributing greater than 20%, to at least begin to understand really where are the impacts occurring in this product's life cycle. And up here, by the way, is the interpretation what's causing the greatest impact. We have a simple explanation. And now Knauf can start talking about how they're making their products greener and what they're doing to improve. But before we go look at that, what we've done is we've also included the material health information, again, all in one place, because if you're a manufacturer and you're going to provide both kinds of disclosures that help AECs earn both kinds of credits, life cycle, environmental impact, and materials, why not have it all in one place? And so the format is the same as the LCA results. The left side is the technical explanation. And because there are 4 or 5 technical programs that the rating systems accept for material ingredient disclosure, we always start by explaining what program was used and how that program works. Lots of people don't know. You can see the results right there. You can see they have a red list free declare label with, again, little tool tips that help people understand what those levels mean. And here the manufacturer can talk about what's in the product and why. What are they doing to achieve a red list free declare label? And what are they doing to make it healthier? You can obviously link to the declare label. You can read the declare methodology, and you can see the value in the rating systems. But now here's page 3, and I invite everybody who is going to come take a look at this later. You can access this in multiple places. This is where you can learn about what the manufacturer and what Knauf is doing in every stage of the product's life cycle, contributing to the kind of performance improvement and transformation that they've achieved. And I want to point out that this is not typically found. In fact, it's rarely to never found in a traditional EPD because it's optional content. I want to bring your attention to the fact that because it is a Type 3 environmental declaration, all 3 pages have been verified by NSF, which means that every claim that's on page 3 has been verified. Knauf did have to submit documentation to support every statement that's provided here. And so now anybody accessing this information can feel confident that it's valid, it's credible, presented in a standardized way, all in one place. So let's say, now going back to our scenario, I happen to like this product, and I'm ready to start a project. So I'm going to start a project. Now, by the way, I've already set up an account in the Transparency Catalog, but I'm going to show you, because we're very, very clear about the reason to set up an account is only to be able to save information. It's a technical requirement to have a space where you can save your own information. That's the only reason to create an account. The only information you provide to set up an account is your first name, an email address, and a password. That's it. We're not harvesting information from you. Nobody's going to be reusing it for any other purposes. It is purely for you to be able to set up a project library to save your projects and your products. So I'm going to log back in. And go back to my Jetstream Ultra product. Let's say now I want to start a project. Now, because I'm logged in and I already have some projects in my library, it's going to ask me, do I want to add it to a project I'm already working on, or do I want to start a new project? So I'm going to say I want to add it to a project I'm already working on. And you're going to see that in the project library, it comes with an example project. So I'm just going to select that example project, and you'll see here's the name of it. It's a healthcare project. You can put in as much or as little as you like to describe the project, because ultimately you're going to be sharing this information with your colleagues. And then you're going to be able to select and configure the products that you're adding to the project. Now, I just added the Jetstream Ultra, and you can see it's not configured yet. So there's the picture. I'm going to select the blow type. I'm able to select the R value that I like or that I need for the project. I can put in the amount. Now, if it's early in design, I might not know the amount, and that's fine. It's not required. Later in design, I might know. I can go back and put it in. Again, it's not required. It depends on it depends on the design stage that you're in and what you're using this content for. So I'm going to save my project, and let's go look at the project library. So here we are in the project library, and what you can see right at your fingertips are all of the spec guides for all of Knauf's products, along with a PDF with general guidance about how to specify Knauf products. They're always happy to have you call, but let's go into the example project. So now you can see here's the project with all the products, with all the configuration that I've done already. I can always edit that project, whenever I want, or I can go back to the non-editable view. Now let's say I'm ready to go to my client meeting to start discussing the products that we've selected to use in this major healthcare facility that we're designing. I can certainly always demo this online, but I can also download the project. And when I download the project, what I get is a zip file that contains all of the transparency reports and material health overviews, as well as a PDF of this example project page, like a cover sheet. So that's always there. You can email that around, you can print it out, you can do whatever you like with that. But now let's say you're getting ready to do some specification, but maybe you have some questions. Maybe I have some questions. So I'm going to click Contact Knauf. It puts in my default information because that's what the system knows about me. I can optionally put in my phone number, my company name, and I can put in the question that I have. If I want to contact them by email, I can certainly also call. But let's change scenarios for just one moment. Now imagine I'm a facility manager or someone who maintains an existing building, because it's not always about new construction. And I need to change the insulation in my mechanical room. I'm going to want to request a quote because I'm going to be responsible for purchasing this product. So this contact form can do double duty. If I want to request a quote, I can click that, fill in the rest of the information, title, project name, address, some of that's required. When I fill that in and I send it off to Knauf, what gets sent with it is the entire project. The project, the specifications, that arrives at Knauf, and the Knauf folks will determine which distributor or reseller is going to be best equipped to provide a quote and sell that insulation to that facility manager. That's the demo. The process is simple. We've tried to make it very straightforward. But let me talk now about some of the educational content that we've built in that's accessible from a number of different points. First, let's look at this Green Building Rating Systems graphic. I think you might have seen it on the page 3 of the transparency report. It's also available from the showroom front page. And now you'll be able to see all of the products in the showroom and all of the credits that it can earn in all of the green building rating systems that also award product transparency. So that's right there. This is some really interesting and technical information done in a very simple way. And this really is Scott's brainchild. And we created it in response to the perception that the amount of embodied energy in the manufacture of insulation is a lot. People think, oh, there's so much embodied energy in the manufacture of insulation. So what we've done here is created a demonstration of how quickly you can pay back the environment for the embodied energy used to manufacture the product, how quickly that same amount of energy can be saved when that insulation is installed in a building. So you can see this is the standard climate zone model. You can select one of the climate zones, hit display payback model, and in a glance, you can see that embodied energy gets paid back in 70 days. So the amount of energy it took to make the insulation to insulate this 30,000 square foot building gets paid back in 70 days, which means that over the lifetime of the building, we're using 60 years because that's what LEED uses, you're going to save almost 32 million megajoules of energy and almost 5,500 equivalent barrels of oil. So all of this is documented. Here's the calculation methodology. We also provide some comparisons of the difference between the payback for embodied energy versus the payback for global warming. They're a little bit different, but still it's a quick payback. And everything you'd need to know about how the modeling was done is available here. And Scott is even willing to take your questions. So that's available. And then the third educational piece of content is that page 3 that you saw in the transparency report. We've also pulled it out so it's generally available for anyone to be able to go in and see what is Knauf doing to contribute to making higher performing, greener and healthier and more transformative products. And that's what's in the showroom.